Hello, everyone. Going live here. Going live. Welcome to B Flow's Finance. Finally, our first live session. And I hope all of you can make it in today that has time on this wonderful Sunday. And I'm looking if anybody's joining. All right, here we go. Hey, Jay, how's it going? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. I appreciate you stopping by to celebrate this milestone, my 100 subscribers. I appreciate it. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. All right. Hey, got a few more people. Coming in. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. I'm doing well. It's Sunday, so I always start off my Sundays. I go to church in the morning, so went to church this morning, and then I scheduled this live stream so we can get started. Talk about some velocity banking. Hope you all are doing well. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Is it Say? Is that how you pronounce your name? But I appreciate you guys stopping in. Well, before we get started, does anybody have any questions about velocity banking? Do you know what it is? If you know what velocity banking is, just put a 1 in the chat. Just put a 1 in the chat if you actually know what it is. If you have no idea of what velocity banking is, then put a 2 in the chat. Shay. All right, got you. We got a 1 from Jesus. If you know what velocity banking is, what the concept is. Hello. Once again, if you know what velocity banking is, please put a 1 in the chat. If not, then put a 2 in the chat. See what we got here. See, I want to see what the mindset is in the chat. All right. Got a few more 1s. Got a couple 2s. I'll explain a little later on how we're going to do the giveaway a little later. Basically, I'm just going to do something simple and probably have people just type in 1s in the chat, and then I'm just going to do a random pick of whoever I pick, and then as long as you have Venmo, CashApp, or Zelle, then I can just send you the money. If you're not comfortable with sending it, putting your information in the chat, then I'll also put my email in the chat, and then we can go through it that way. All right. So basically, I'm just going to start with velocity banking. So I know there's a lot of different debt payoff strategies out there. We have velocity banking. We have debt snowball, debt avalanche. I know most of you probably heard of Dave Ramsey. He mostly teaches debt snowball, which basically means that with Dave Ramsey, he's basically telling you to cut up all your credit cards and don't use them anymore. And then what you're going to do is you're going to be starting with the smallest debt, and then you're just going to be attacking that smallest debt with your whatever disposable income that you have. So say, for instance, you have like $300 left every single month. You're going to put that entire $300 towards that specific debt. But the actual first step of the baby steps is you actually have to build a $1,000 emergency fund. So however long that's going to take you, you got to build that $1,000 emergency fund, and then you're going to go towards, say, for instance, a credit card. And then once you pay that credit card off and capture that monthly payment, so now you're going to use that cash that you had left over plus the new monthly payment, put those together. And then if you have another credit card, then you're just going to use all that new money and tackle the next credit card. And then that's why they call it that snowball, because you start off with a small snowball at first, and then it kind of rolls down the hill and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until you pay off all your debt. Now, what's different about Dave Ramsey's way and velocity banking is you're actually going to still use your credit cards, but the thing is this concept isn't for everybody, especially if you have a hard time. If you have a hard time, let's say discipline, with discipline and going to the store and just swiping with your credit card. If you have a real hard time doing that, then I wouldn't suggest this strategy for you. I would just go to maybe the Dave Ramsey route and just cut up your credit cards, because if you have an issue with credit cards, then this is not going to work for you, because what this does is it takes your cash flow and it stays into the credit cards or the line of credit, whatever you're using, and that's what's paying down the debt every single month. So if you're out there just swiping away and say, for instance, you got $500 of cash flow, and then you go buy a brand new TV for $500. Well, you just wasted all your money, and your balance is not going to go down. So basically, what we're going to do is, let me do an example here on the board. So I'm just going to do something simple here. Do something simple. Let me erase this. Do something simple here. Just say, for instance, I'm left-handed here, so mind me. Say, for instance, you have an income of $4,000 per month, and then you have expenses at $3,000. So let's see, the difference between this and this is $1,000. And this, say, for instance, we're just going to do something easy. You have a debt. We have a credit card for $7,000, right? And then, of course, our cash flow is the difference between our income and our expenses, which is $1,000. So we have $1,000 here. That's your income is all the money that you get, your income during the month, and your expenses is everything that goes out. So that's your rent, your utilities, your car payment, the gas you put in your car when you go out to eat. That's everything. Everything is included in this expense number. Now, we have things that you can get. We have some tools that you can get if you mainly go to a credit union. I like to use credit union to get a line of credit. So just say, for instance, we go to a credit union and say, hey, if you have a decent credit score, we go to credit union and say, hey, I would like to get a line of credit for $10,000 if they offer it there, of course. And then, of course, you're going to go through the process, and they're going to give you $10,000 to start off with. So now we're going to have a line of credit. I just like to use LOC for $10,000, 10K, and it has a lower interest rate, 13%. So now we have a line of credit that we can use to pay off this credit card right here. So I'm just going to put CC number 1 here, and it's for $7,000. And then the monthly payment on it, let me see. Usually with monthly payments on credit cards, if you don't really know what it is off front, sometimes you can use either 3 to 4% of whatever the total is of the credit card to figure out the monthly payment. So I'm just going to go in the middle and use 3.5%. So you're going to get on your calculator, type in $7,000 times 3.5%, and you're going to get $245 per month. And this credit card has a 25% interest rate. So this is your monthly payment. And this monthly payment is also included in this expense number right here. This is not added to this expense number. This is included into this expense number. So what makes lines of credit so good is this is other people's money right here. This is other people's money. This is the other bank's money. So what you're going to do is, since we have $10,000, I like to only use, depending on your cash flow, only like to use 70% of the line. So 70% of $10,000 is $7,000. I made this easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 7,000 out of this $10,000 right here and pay off this credit card. So if we pay this credit card off, what is that going to get rid of? Could somebody put that in the chat? What is that? What is this $7,000? If we take this line of credit, what is that going to get rid of on this credit card? What are we no longer going to have? Anybody want to say? What's going to disappear? Exactly, Jesus. Exactly. This monthly payment is going to go bye-bye. It's no longer, you're no longer going to have this monthly payment. So what's that going to do is that's going to lower your expenses by $245. So now your expenses are going to go down to, what is that? I want to make sure. I think it's going to be $27.55. Just want to make sure. Always use your calculator just in case you don't want to make any math mistakes. And also, since our expenses are down, what else is going to go up? What else are we going to have more of now? That most important number on the board. What is our most important number on the board? What's going to happen? What's going to happen to this cash flow? What's going to happen to this cash flow? It's also going to go up this $245. What's going to happen? We're going to get some more cash flow. You already know what I like to say. Get some more cash flow, right? So now our cash flow is up to $1,245. That quick. Day one. Amazing. Day one. So what I want you guys to do for me, I want you to figure out what the interest is going to be for this $7,000 on the line of credit. What is it going to be per the first year, per month, and what the interest is going to be per day. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you should know. So we have $7,000 out of this line of credit at a 13% interest rate. So tell me how much you're going to be paying for the first year, per month, and per day. I want to see if y'all know how to do this math. Do this math. I'm going to do it right here with you. So how much are you going to get charged interest if you took out $7,000 at a 13% interest rate? How much is it going to be? I want to see if y'all can do this. So $7,000 at a 13% interest rate. How much would you be getting charged in interest for that first year? Now, what you're going to do if you're confused, $7,000, break out your calculator, 7,000 times 13%. You're going to get a number. What's that number going to be? Just type it in your calculator. Got it. $910. Woohoo! Got it. Good job, Jay. And okay, so what is it going to be per month? This is for the entire year. So how many years or how many months are in a year? So what are you going to do? You're going to divide this number, $910, by how many months in a year? What we got? What we got? How much is it going to be in a year? Ooh, yes, yes. That's what I like to see. $75.83. And then, of course, now you're going to do per day. So, how many days in a year? You're going to divide this by 365 days. 910 divided by 365. What are we going to get? 249 per day. Good job, good job, good job. So, if we keep this balance at $7,000 the entire first year, this is how much you're going to get charged for the first year, per month and per day. But with velocity banking, this is not how we roll. This is not how we roll. So I'm going to show you this breakdown right here. So when I tackle a debt, what I like to do is the same. You're going to wait until the day that you get paid to put that $7,000 towards to pay off this credit card. Because why? If we get paid bi-weekly and I wait until I get paid, so of course this is going to be split in half, so I'm going to get paid $2,000, right? So as soon as I take $7,000 out of this line and then I put $2,000 in, that's already going to drive that balance down to $5,000 that quick, day one. And I'm only going to get charged interest on that $5,000. That's how this works, because interest on lines of credit are calculated daily. Whatever the daily balance is, that's what you're going to get charged interest on. So that's why it's really important with any line of credit. So lines of credit or credit cards, you want to keep the balance as low as possible every single day. That means less interest is going to get charged. But the way I like to do it is I just like to put in your monthly income and your monthly expenses, and we're just going to do it that way. So we're just going to start off with $7,000 because that's what we took out for the line of credit, right? To pay off this credit card. And then we have our income, our entire income going into this line. Remember, we are no longer, if you're saving money at your bank, you're no longer saving money, because why would you be saving money and you have debt out here that's getting charged 25% interest rate? So whatever you have in savings right now, just keep it there. I'm not even going to worry about that right now. We're just going to be focusing on paying down this line of credit. This line of credit is now becoming your checking and your savings account. So we're going to put this $4,000 in. It's going to drive the balance all the way down to $3,000. So now this is our balance. But what has to happen now? Well, we have this $2,755 of living expenses that we need to pay. We need to pay our bills, right? You need to keep the lights on. So what's going to happen is now you're going to take $2,755 out of the line to pay your bills. So that's going to raise the balance up to $5,755. Now, of course, these lines of credit aren't free to use. Remember, this is 13%. So what I like to do is I always like to take the interest off of the high balance of the line of credit every month. So we already figured out what the monthly interest is going to be on $7,000. So we're just going to add $75.83 to this total. And again, I'm going to use my calculator just to make things a little quicker. So now we're going to get $5,830.83. That's going to be the balance at the end of month one. Now, does anybody have any questions up to this point? I'm gonna see the chat. I'm gonna see the chat. So is anybody confused up to this point, like what I did? Does anybody need any more explanation? Let me know. We had what we took out minus our income plus our expenses plus the interest that's getting charged on a line of credit. And this is the ending balance at the end of month one. Because remember, our cash flow now is $1,255, but the cash flow that we gained is $245, right? You have to think about this. Think about this. You were used to paying $245 a month in for that credit card. Now you're just getting charged interest of that $245. Now 75.83 of that coming out of here, that what you gained is going towards the line of credit. This is really like your, let's just say, your new monthly payment of this credit card. And every single month after this interest is going to keep going down because this balance is going to keep going down. So this interest, this money that you gained is now, this interest is now coming out this money that you gained. So you're really not going to feel it because you're used to paying $245. And now, since you no longer have that monthly payment, now you're just paying the interest on the line, which is at 75.83. That's what I like to tell people. Like, the money that you gained minus the interest now, and you see the difference. You see the difference, right? 245 minus 75, and that's your net that you gained. So you're not actually getting the full 1,245 at the start because you have to pay this interest. This is with the entire monthly payment. You still have to pay this interest. But this interest isn't that much. And remember, it's off of the high beginning balance. What I like to do in these scenarios is take the interest off of this balance, and then the balance after your income goes in, which is this 3,000, and then the balance after your expenses come out. You add all these numbers up and then divide by 3, and that's when you're going to get an average. So it's going to be lower than this. It's probably going to be in the probably 60s, maybe 50 or $60 range. But what we're going to do is we're just going to go on to month 2, and we're going to repeat the same process. So in month 2, of course, we're going to have the $4,000 come back out, that income. Now it's going to drive that balance down to $1,830.38. And then what we got coming up. Now what we got to do? We got to pay our bills. We got to pay the bills. We got to keep that roof over our head and our belly's full, right? So we're going to be adding the expenses. So we got 38 cents over here, 5, 8, 15, 2, 3, 4, 48. 45, 85, and 38 cents. All right. And then I want one of you out here to figure out the interest for me. So I want to take the interest off of this beginning balance right here. So I want you to figure out the interest of the 58.30 and 83 cents at 13%. Tell me what the interest is going to be for this month. Use your calculators. It's pretty easy. And remember, this is monthly, so you're going to have to, whatever number you get, you're going to have to divide by 12. What are you going to get? Let me see. Bam, Jay's on it. Jay is on it. Good job, Jay. Boom. $63.16 plus that 45.85.38, and we're looking at 46, 48, And I'm just going to round up 55 cents. I'm rounding up here. So let's see here. All right, so that's going to be the balance at the end of month 2. Just for math's sake, let me just put a 4 there, because I don't want to confuse anybody. All right, so in month 3, we're going to do the exact same thing. Once you start doing this and writing this down, it's just the same 3 steps. You're putting your income in, you're taking expenses out, and then you're charging yourself interest, you're getting a balance. And then the next month, you're putting your income in, you're taking expenses out, and then you're getting an interest charge. I know some people really get confused with this concept, but it's really only 3 numbers. And once you figure out your 4 major numbers, your income, your expenses, your debt, whatever you're paying off, and your cash flow, that's all you got to work with. So now we're just going to repeat the same thing. Minus $4,000. Excuse my writing. So now you're down to $648.54. Isn't that crazy? Then, of course, we got our expenses that need to come out. And we're going to get 3403. All right. Once again, I'm going to save y'all the torture of doing this yourself. So we have this beginning balance here of 4648.54 times 13%. You're going to get $604.31. Divide that by 12. And now we're down to just $50. And I'm going to round this one up. 36 cents for the month. And that's going to put us at, let me just do this math here. 11, 9, 3, 5, 34, 53, and 91 cents. Isn't that crazy? Now look how far we came from $7,000 to start with, and then look at where we're at now. Look at where we're at now at the end of month 3. That's going to be the ending balance at the end of month 3. Amazing. Now since you know me in my videos, once our balance gets under what our income is, I like to flip the numbers just on the board, just so you can see the line going down to 0. Because if not, if we have a balance that's lower than our income, right, then I'm going to have to put in this exact amount on the board, and then we're going to have a difference, and then it's just a lot more math. So then we're going to have more expenses come out, and then I'm going to have to figure out what the difference is, and it just makes things confusing. So what I do on the board is I just flip the numbers, and now we're just going to have the expenses on the board come out first, and then put our income in second, so you can see exactly when it's going down to 0. That's what I like to do. That's just me. Makes it easier for me to understand. There's no rules to this game. You know, everybody has their different rules, you know, but that's just me. That's what I do. So we're just going to add our expenses first of $27.55. And now you're going to get $6,208.91. I'm going to put that over here. 62.91 cents. And then of course we got that $4,000 of income, right? So we gotta take that out of this line. We gotta take this out. So what is that going to do? That's going to lower this balance down to $22.08.91. Whew. Isn't that beautiful? So we're going to take the interest off of this beginning balance here of $34.53 and 91 cents. times 13%, you get around 449. Divide that by 12, $37 and rounding up 42 cents. To 8.91. All right. And now we're at the end of month 4. That's where we're at the end of month 4. So, anybody got any questions now? Look where we're at now. End of month 4, we're down to 22.49. Isn't that crazy? I'm telling you, this is just addition and subtraction. That's all this is. Once you graduate and get a line of credit, it's a game changer. You can even do this. You can even do this with a credit card as well. That's how I started. I started with a credit card, and I had some loans that I had a loan that I could pay with my credit card. So all I did was put the loan on my credit card, and the day that I got paid, I put the loan on the credit card, and then I had the loan was like for 1,600, but at the time, when I was married, we had like $3,000 or like $2,500 of income going in. So what did I do? 1,600 went in the card, and like 2,000 went into the card, and wiped that wiped that loan out just like that, plus another $500. I'm telling you, this credit game is amazing because you're putting money in, and then that same money that you're putting in, you're taking it back out to pay your bills. And then your cash flow is what stays in the line. That's all this is. So month 5, we're going to have our expenses come out first. Expenses come out first. $5,001.33. Now, we got that 4 G's going in there, right? $1,001.33. Now, right here, usually I like taking the interest off of the beginning balance, but just to do this, just to even show you that even if I take it off of after the expenses come out, I'm just going to do this number right here. I'm going to do it off of the highest balance of the month. So I'm going to do it from right here. So our interest is going to go back up more than what it was here. So it's going to be probably in the 50s with this $5,000. But it's fine. You're going to beat these numbers anyway. But I'm just going to show you, even with me doing it like this, you're still going to come out ahead, which is crazy. It's still going to be like it's nothing, because these interest charges, you're not going to feel it at all. You're really not. I'm telling you. You're going to look at these interest charges and be like, wow, because I know a lot of you right now are just paying your minimum monthly payments on these credit cards, and you're seeing these interest charges of like $100 some dollars, especially if your balance is large. You're seeing these interest charges of hundreds of dollars every single month, and it's like barely going down. You see how these interest charges are going down here because they're dumping all of our money in. Oh man, look at that right there. Month 5. Now look at that balance. So in month 6, rinse and repeat. 27, 55, 51. So we got 2 here, 10, 11, 11, 7, and 3. Did I do that right? Make sure my math is all right. Oops. That's what I did wrong. Making mistakes here, I'm human. Sorry about that. All right, so what we got here? All right. 38, 10, and 51 cents. Now, Now you see this right here. You see this number right here. Now you know what our income is, right? Our income is $4,000. So what we gonna do? I mean, we got a balance of 3,800. So what are we gonna do? Well, we're gonna put this exact amount in, right? We're gonna put this exact amount in. Now you might get charged some interest because I don't know exactly when your bills are going to come out through the month, so you might actually have a balance on one of these days, on some days throughout this month, but it's not going to be more than $50. I guarantee you that. If it's more than $50, we're still going to be under your $4,000 of income. So even if 50 was added to this, will be 3860, 3870. We're going to still be under this. So now zero this out. Isn't that amazing? 6 months. 6 months. You're done. $7,000. You just got rid of this credit card that you're paying $245 a month. Most people are just going to keep continuing to pay that minimum monthly payment, right? Getting charged 25% interest on that $7,000, and you paid it off in 6 months. Isn't that great? I mean, it's crazy. So what I also like to do, of course, we're going to see if we actually beat this 13% here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add up all the interest that we got charged this whole time and see if we actually beat this 13% that we got charged on this line of credit. So get with me. So actually, I'm going to have one of you add up the interest cost. So we have 73.85 here. Just help me out here. Interest is here, here, here. Here's interest here, and here's an interest charge here, and here's an interest charge here. So add all those up and see if we come up with the same number. Let's do this. Add all these up, see if we come up with the same number. All right. LOCINT. So what y'all got? What y'all got? I got my number. What y'all got? Interest here, interest here, interest here. So we got 75.83, 63.16, $50.36. We got $37.42. And I already see, and we got the 54.18. What we got? What we got? Right, Royal. And we got it. Ding, ding, ding. All right. $280.95. See, this is elementary math right here. See, this is why this is so cool, because it's this addition and subtraction. And you might be throwing in some division, maybe some multiplication, but this is all the actual math that we learn in school that we can actually use in real life, which is crazy. So now, how I like to figure out how much interest we actually paid, what do? I go on Google, use trusty Google, and type in 280. So I want all of you to go on Google and do this. Type in $280.95 is what percent of, what do we start with? $7,000. And you're going to get a number when you hit enter. I want you to tell me what that is. What is that number? All right. Good job. Good job. So we got 4.01 Isn't that crazy? Hmm. Come this is not 7,000. Excuse me for a second. How come this is not popping up? All right. So yes, 4.01%. So this is the percent you actually paid in interest and not this 13%. Isn't that crazy? So you borrowed $7,000 of other people's money, and this is what you actually paid in interest. This is the number right here you actually paid. So let's just add $100 to that. This this in case our math was off. So instead of 280, do the same thing, what I just told you, and add $100. So now you're going to get $385. And then we're going to do the same thing if we were really off by $200. So that's going to put it at $480.95, and see what we're going to get. So first start off with $380.95 and see what you get. See what you get. That's if our math was real off, right? That's if our math was really off. Oh, no wonder. I had my thing on videos. That's why I wasn't getting the right numbers. Good job again. All right, Royal, man, Royal. Okay, you got it. All right, so 380. We looking at 5.44%, and at 480, Royal got it again. I'm just double checking on my end, make sure, great minds think alike, 6.87. Of course, of course. So even if we're off by $200, we're still at 6.87% instead of paying this $13. And this is in 6 months. You didn't pay this off. Now, of course, things are going to happen, and life happens, and your expenses might not be $3,000 for every month exactly, because you know how bills fluctuate. But even with this, let's just say when you're figuring out the expenses, I always like to go over. So you either, like me, I'll either take my highest months and use that as my expense, or you'll go through like a calendar year, especially for your utilities, right? And just average it out. So the summer months, of course, your electric is going to be more, but then in the winter time it's going to go down, and then your gas is going to flip as well. So just go through, take the average, and then just use that number for your expenses. So then you're just getting the average, and that's just going to be the way it is every month. But this is just cut and dry. 6 months, and if you want to add, a couple more months to this, maybe two months to this, maybe 8 months, then life happens. Okay, but 6 months, you're done. 240 $7,000 of credit is done. This is this is how this works. It's that simple. So do y'all have any questions? I know I've been rambling on for a minute. We've been going on 45 minutes here almost. So I want to wrap this up. I know it's Sunday, and some of y'all might be on the East Coast, and it might be a little later for you. But I'm on the West Coast, so it's still kind of early for me. So anybody have any questions? You have any feedback, anything you need to add or you're confused about, just let me know. If not, then we can get started on this giveaway because I know this is Sunday giving day. So I know y'all waiting for that. I'm excited. And first of all, of course, I want to thank all of you for the support. This has been crazy. Just real quick, I just want to tell you that that starting a YouTube channel, it might look easy on the outside, but it it really takes a lot of work, especially for me and my schedule. Let me just break it down, if y'all okay for hearing my schedule. So for me, I go to the gym 4 days out of the week, right? So I get up every day, and I go to the gym before I go to work. My work starts at 7:30. I go to the gym at 4:30, 4 days out of the week, Monday, and I might skip a day, but Monday through Friday, 4:30. So on Mondays, from May to February, I'm off right now. I'm in a bowling league with my dad. So once I get off of work at 4:30, I usually come home and I'll do a scenario on the board, right? And I'll do a video. And then once I get out of bowling, which is around 9 o'clock, I have to come home, take a shower, eat. So sometimes I'm not getting to bed till like 11 o'clock. And then the next day, I'm getting up, going to the gym, going to work during my lunchtime, editing a video. And then when I come home on Tuesdays, 2 days out of the week, I have board. I work for a school district. I have board meetings, so I'm working overtime till like 8 o'clock, 8:30. Same deal. I'll come home, do uh, well, on Tuesdays I can't come home during those times, but I'm editing a video, and then I'll edit a video at work, and then the next day I'll turn around to go back to work, go to the gym, go to work, and then I'll come home and I have Bible study on Wednesdays. So then I'll come home, do a video around. I got to be at Bible study around 6:30, 6:45. That doesn't end until like 8:15. Get to bed around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and just repeat the same process. So by the time Friday gets here, I I'm cashed out. I just want to come home. I take a shower, eat, and probably like 8:30, I'm done. So my Fridays are done. And then on Saturdays, we have food pantry at my church on Saturdays. And then I also am in a hiking group, which is going to be starting up here. So I'm doing that. And then on course on Sundays, I'm going to service. And then the next week, repeating the same process. This is what I do right now. This is my life. But I just like doing this. I enjoy doing this because I know a lot of you are in debt. You're wondering how you're going to pay off this credit card or your student loans. You got personal loans. You got your mortgage. All this could work with all of that, which is amazing. So I'm gonna keep continuing doing my part, and I just want to say thank you for all of you, and I appreciate it. So all right. So what we're going to do is uh, just put a one in the chat if you have either Cash App, you got Zelle, or you have Venmo. Let me know what you got, so you'll be eligible to get this money, right? Get this money. And of course, if you're in here, don't forget to hit that like button. And if I haven't gotten any subscribers, if you're not subscribed yet, of course, help the channel out, get that subscribe. PayPal I could do as well. If you're international, I don't know how that works, but if you're here in the States, then we can do that as well. All right. All right, cool. Of course y'all got all that. Of course y'all got all that. So I'm going to put, if you're not comfortable putting your information in the chat, here is my email. So after the stream's over, we can email. You can email me. What I like to do when I always send money, when because I don't know, you might be it might be a typo or something. I always send $1. I always send $1 on the first transaction just to see if it goes through, and then I'll send the rest after that. So that's just how I do it. All right, all right, looking good, looking good, looking good. All right. So whoever wins this, I just appreciate it. At the Once this stream gets posted on the YouTube channel, this of course like and subscribe if you haven't, and also put something make a comment and say, hey, you got paid. So I don't want to think I don't want anybody thinking I'm scamming anybody out there, because that's not what this is about. It's about giving back to all of you. All right, all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna see if I want to make this interesting. So let's see here. Think I might just do who pick a number. So pick a number. I have a number in mind between 1 and 50, right? 1 and 50. I have a number in mind. So whoever picks the number that's in my dome right here first is gonna win the money. We're just gonna do it like that. Go ahead. Go in the chat. Go ahead. Now. Go. Go. Let's go. See who can type the fastest. I mean, get them fingers ready. Ooh. Oh man. All right. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. I ain't seen it yet. Uh-oh. 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 What we got? We got Sophie. Sophie Snow White. Sophie Snow White. Oh, 27. What do you know? Sophie, Sophie, Sophie. Congratulations to Sophie. I'm just gonna make sure I scroll up to the chat and make sure I don't see a 27 before that, because no, 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 because the first one we had was Shay and she had 25. I don't see no 27. So congratulations to Sophie. Congratulations to Sophie. And I know when I started this stream, I had 125 subscribers. So what I'm going to do is give you $125, because I said $1 for each subscription. So you're gonna get 125. So I don't know what you want to do, Sophie. If you want to put whatever you're using in the chat, or you can email me at the email I provided. So that's up to you. So what you want to do? So just let me know what you want to do. All right, gotcha, gotcha. All right. Sounds good. That looks like Cash App right there. So, all right. All right. So, all right. So whew, yeah, this is a good first live stream. Sorry if I took a little too long or seemed a little bit nervous, but this is the first time I did this, so it's a little growing pains, but I think it went okay, and I appreciate all of you stopping by, and congratulations to Sophie for winning the $125 that giveaway. And I appreciate all of you, and just continue to support the channel. Like, share, and let other people know about this. And like I said in my last video, I'm going to be offering my services the beginning of next month. So stay tuned for that. And I wish all of you the best Sunday. Have a blessed Sunday. And I'll see you on the next live. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Bye. Have a good day. Hold on a second. Let me get you, Sophie. Let's make sure. The stream is going on, but once I post it, I'm just gonna get rid of all this, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I got you. Missing that button. Confirm. All right. I just sent you $1. Let me know if you got it. Oh, don't worry about the email. I just sent you a Cash App. Let me know if you got the dollar. I just sent $1 just to verify. All right, cool. So I'm going to end the stream, and then I'm going to send you the rest of the money, and you have a blessed rest of your day. Okay? Thank you. I appreciate you. And don't forget to comment. Let you know you got paid. All right, bye.